Healthcare is by far the most targeted sector. It's been the most targeted in 2021, but it's also the most targeted, expected to be most targeted in 2022. It's mainly for two reasons. One is the fact that they're underfunded and there is an underinvestment in the security cyberspace and that space. But also the other reason is that they have such a low tolerance, extremely low tolerance for downtime. And accordingly, that's a great target for cyber criminals. Well, we've been absent for a couple of years at GISEC. This year we had a very strong presence. We started with a keynote, plus few sessions and a panel. But then here at the booth, we're actually showcasing a few solutions, the latest trends and innovations, including SASE, Secure Access Service Edge, which is about the convergence of SD-WAN and security. And this is where we are a leader, being a leader in both these areas. So on the security part of SASE, this is where it's the convergence of solutions such as cloud-based firewall, CASB, web security, threat intel, and DNS layer security. So that's the first one. The second trend is Zero Trust. Zero Trust, this is where Forrester actually put us at the top of the leading wave because we actually have a great architecture around the three Ws. The workplace, and that's the campus and the extension of the campus to the branches. The workforce, and this is where we're talking about verifying the users, their devices, etc. And the third one is about the workflows, and that's the world of the applications, the world of the multi-cloud. The last one is extended detection of response and response. This is where we're actually having the unified visibility, the simplicity, and also the automated workflows to get to faster response and orchestrated responses all to the customer. So basically the end game is to provide a simplified customer experience to our organizations and customers. What we expect to be the biggest threats for 2022, we actually are predicting Log4j, which started in 2021 to continue in 2022. We also have expecting a potential revival of Emotet, definitely ransomware, third-party and supply chain related security concerns, and Web 3.0 security concerns. Now, if I can develop a bit more on the Log4j, this is where we saw a widespread concern back in 2021 with enterprises actually having difficulties to find but also to patch all those issues around the Log4j, considering how the far reach of Log4j. The second one is about supply chain and third-party risks. Those have always been perceived as a weak entry point to the infrastructure, and accordingly, cyber criminals attack those. The third one is Web 3.0, security-related risks, and that's obviously the world of metaverse, and this is where we actually are predicting that cyber criminals are going to go after the investors in that space. CISCO Talos, the largest non-governmental threat intelligence organization in the world, actually has issued a blog yesterday around that space with a lot of details about the potential threats, but also the measures to fight those threats. Ransomware has always been a big one and will remain. What's new in ransomware is that now we're seeing more and more commercially available open source kind of tools, so it's more accessible to everyone, even if they're not that expert in cybersecurity. The second one, from an attack vectors, if you want, this is where we're seeing phishing and anything that is internet-facing kind of solutions. Metaverse is the convergence of the next generation of the internet and the next generation of social media. But it's also a place where investors for cryptocurrencies, but also NFTs are there. And knowing that cyber attackers and cyber criminals are financially driven, this is a paradise or a heaven for them because they'll be able to trap those those kind of investors. CISCO Thales, the largest non-governmental threat intelligence organization in the world, has been observing that space for a while and has recently issued a blog sharing with the world what we are seeing in terms of threats. So basically the tactics that cyber attackers have been using, some of them were the traditional ones, including phishing, including trapping customers into the wrong links, including trying to apply social engineering to get them to share their passwords, etc. Or the virtual wallet access, and that's the key thing that they're after. Some of the problem with metaverse is that because it's so decentralized, once something is stolen, it's very difficult to actually reverse it or trace it back. Now, Talos also shared some of the precautions that can be taken to avoid such attacks, and those will fall under the traditional stuff, including strong password, including trying to be very accurate when we've sent a link about making sure the spelling is correct, research the company before investing in an NFT, but also using all the typical measures in a cybersecurity world.